we should appreciate those varieties, those differences, because it's what heaven's going to be. We better get used to it now, right? You know,
if you plan on going.
You plan on going. Then
I can preach to you all day, but when I show it to you in action, when I show you love, when I show you forgiveness, it'll inspire you to give it a try.
When something happens that isn't in your bubble and not in the place you naturally care, maybe it's worth forcing yourself to care a little more than you should or would, based on the simple commonality of humanity. Hey man, welcome to the Legin Podcast. Your story matters. I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for being a part of this, and appreciate you, man. I'm just honored, man. I'm always honored if somebody takes the time to just listen to whatever I'm throwing out. Because you don't have to. You got a lot of options out there. Listen, I hope you rate, like, subscribe, do all the things. And if this is valuable for you, share it with your folks. The reason I go by Legin, my name Nigel, spelled backwards, is God, turned my life around. And I just want to throw stories of turnaround out there and inspire people that you can make it. Even if your worldview doesn't include God, I hope it does. But if it doesn't, the principles of that is something that I want to inspire you to just continue to live a better life with. So I hope that's helpful. Today, man, we're talking about many hands make light work and how our stories can just encourage and inspire each other. So we've been talking about this the whole time. This is a special one regarding how those stories actually weave together and tell a better narrative. So I hope you enjoyed the convo today. And I just want to say thanks for being here. We are a member of the NRT Podcast Network. Super honored that our sponsors are making this possible for you to listen to. A group of colleges that I work with, Aviation Institute of Maintenance nationwide, where they train people for the coming need of mechanics in the aviation field. But also regionally in the Virginia area, Centura College that teaches trades like the medical profession, as well as massage therapy. And then right in Norfolk, Virginia, Tidewater Tech is teaching people HVAC, car maintenance, stuff like that. If you need a good job, a change, get on your feet, or just a way to change your family tree, go check my folks out at any one of these colleges and tell them I sent you. Also, my friends Chick-fil-A, Broad Creek Crossing in Norfolk, Virginia, right off Military Highway. That's the one I go in. You might see me in there eating a sandwich, pull up, go get some good food. But also, if you're looking for a good job, they are hiring. I believe they still have spaces, and they'll take care of you if you get one there. They're really good folks. All right, man, let's get into it. If you need anything, hit me up, DM me, let us know what's helpful, what's not. Love to hear from you. I just appreciate you being with us on this journey. Enjoy today's episode, and I'll see you soon. Hey, welcome to the Legin Podcast, episode probably 8, depending on what order we put this in. Yeah. 8-ish, maybe 7, maybe some, maybe 9. We may do more. No, we not. We done. We tired. But look, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being a part of it. And look, go like, subscribe, 5 stars, all the things. I said it in the intro. This is me saying it twice. Please go do that. And we love you. Thanks for being here.
Did we mention share?
Did we mention share?
Share.
All the things. Okay. All the things.
All of it.
To my far right, your far left, is my exuberant co-host.
And illustrious.
Trevor King Louis Lucas, Anomaly Art Studio, professional graffiti handler, does murals all across the city.
Absolutely.
He's the man. I am your host, Legin, Nigel backwards, because God turned my life around, rapper, speaker, and all that. And in the middle is JB Harrison. He has not been outside a little bit, and so his tan went away.
It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
You know what I'm saying?
We get him outside, a little more vitamin D.
Yep. This is my brother Josh, man. Josh is the pastor of Kentsville Christian Church, where we are. He's giving us this beautiful space.
Absolutely.
To hang out here. And if you don't know this, I shot a virtual concert in 2021 called Good Enough. They opened up the door and rolled out the red carpet and let my whole squad come in here and tear the church up and shoot a virtual concert series because we couldn't tour because it was COVID. But this is my brother, man. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Brother. Honored to be a part of this.
Yeah, man. I just wanted you to say what's up to the people and then tell them a little bit about yourself and your heart behind who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Josh Childress. I'm the lead pastor here at Kempsville Christian Church, and I've been here actually coming up on 23 years at the start of the new year. So it's been I didn't realize it was that long. Yeah, it's been an incredible journey here at this church. My dad actually was the lead minister here for 32 years.
Awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, and then 2016 he passed the baton over, and I've been a part of the church here ever since. I actually started here back in 2000 and had youth ministry, then led into associate ministry, and then lead ministry here. That work has been incredible, and I've seen a lot of fruit from it for the kingdom. And that's actually just serving alongside of our younger generation too, getting to know you through that conduit. And man, that's been a gift, Nigel, because I've seen God work in your life. And that's, you asked me about the calling and ministry. That's what it's all about. I love seeing people get positioned to serve the Lord and use their God-given gifts to glorify Him creatively. And man, I tell you what, you knowing your story and seeing how the Lord has positioned you and used you for His purposes to reach people with that good news. It's an awesome friendship that we share, and I'm so thankful for it, man.
Thank you, bro.
Love you, brother.
I love you too, man. I appreciate that, brother. Tell me, man, just real quick, we're going to talk today about, in just a minute, JB's going to come back and join us, but we're going to talk about, we talked last time about why intercultural connectivity is important. Intentionality, like being on purpose about connecting outside of your bubble of look, think, act, believe like you, vote like you, whatever, right?
Be uncomfortable from time to time.
Be uncomfortable, risk being wrong, risk finding out something you ain't know. And we talked about how like when your identity is in those things, you can't risk being wrong. So you got to retreat to the safety of your bubble to keep your identity safe. Why is it important to you to, because I know it is, I know you. Why is it important to you to break those barriers, those bubbles, culturally, racially, ethnically, politically, socially, economically, all the things, you talking about the international stuff you guys are involved. Why is it important to break those bubbles and build like, not checkbox stuff, but real authentic relationships? Why is that important, and how is it helpful for you, for life, just for your life?
Absolutely. I guess bottom line answer would be because God is a creative God.
Absolutely.
And we have all been fashioned in His image, but yet we don't look the same. We don't, walk the same. We don't act the same. But in Christ, we have commonality in His grace as Christian brothers and sisters. And I feel like that is something that has been lost in our culture. We tend to have, we used to be where you could have healthy conversations or even healthy debate, right, over certain things, and have an honor and respect for one another in those differences of opinion. It seemed like we had a better positioning with a listening ear compared to what we have today.
Reasoning
it's more of like, I'm going to wait until you're done sharing your expression, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to say to come at you.
Cut you down.
Yes, instead of just an honest listening and value of another person. And I feel like in Christ, with Him being the central message of what we believe and who we're all about, we have the opportunity to, first of all, understand, that's what heaven's going to be like. Every tongue, every tribe, every nation, centered around His throne, different languages represented, different people. And we have to have a kingdom picture of what we're doing here more than a cultural picture, I believe. Because God is creative, and that's the beautiful part of who He is. And so sometimes we like to put our thumb on that, but we should appreciate those varieties, those differences, because it's what heaven's going to be. We better get used to it now,
right? If you're planning on going,
and being
walking there and be like, man, I'm in the wrong place. Man, what is this? It's not where I should have stopped at the first floor. Let me go to the other place where the basement at. That might be better. But no, so I'm with you, and I think and I'll say this, man. I know you got like pastor stuff to do, but like the connection of Christ that unifies, right?
Yes.
And take this to all nations, right? He wasn't talking about like places with lines we drew on the map. It was ethnos, ethnic groups, right? Take this all ethnic groups. So there's that piece. But then even if you so if you're talking to somebody who's not in Christ, you can't get past the front end of the Bible, right? And it's Imago Dei, like that image, right? Like you said it, we're all made. So like, I have to, no matter where you are with your belief system, I have to automatically start with made in the image of God. I've got to start with, you have dignity, value, and worth, and you are worthy of this relationship. You are worthy of my time, and we pour that out, and that still connects us, right? That connects us in a way where it's like, post-cross or pre-cross, like, I have to value you as made in the image.
First and foremost,
man. And when we do that on that side, one side of the cross, the other, we still have that that commonality, that humanity that made in His image, and it pushes us further. And then when we're in the kingdom, it's on a whole another stratosphere of what that is. But it starts in that commonality. So, man, I appreciate you, bro.
You got
so
it,
much,
man.
Thanks
It's
for
an
being
honor.
here, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, guys.
No doubt. So we back. Many hands
Make light work.
Light work.
Yeah.
Excited to have this. This is the wrap up episode, man. This is the end of season 3. You made it. You made it. New achievements unlocked. You're here.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Before we go any farther, though, I'd like to introduce my exceptional co-host,
Is exception.
par excellence.
Ooh. Now that sounds fast.
I looked that up on the internet.
Par excellence.
I looked it up, man. I listened to how to say it, though.
So what is par excellence?
So what we're here to talk about today is it is.
Oh, okay. He golfs when you golf well is what that means.
Wow.
His par is very excellent.
I ain't read the definition. I just was like, this sound.
It say suits him.
I hope it was complimentary.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'll
Yeah,
take
man.
it.
And this says golf term. Oh, okay, I don't know.
Oh,
Because I believed you, because you seem like a trustworthy guy until now. I believe.
Well,
I've been to Topgolf twice. I ate some wings. But so we talked about why it's important to like get connected with folks outside of your bubble and your circle.
Absolutely.
Because again, the theme, your story matters. Everybody's story matters. And if you only hear stories connected to you in your sphere, but not other stories, you're missing out. Now, once we've done that, once we've gotten connected with those folks, once we've stepped out and we've risked being wrong and we built a relationship we wouldn't have built, and we now have access and trust and connectivity and love with some folks who don't look, think, act like us, aren't from our same area, whatever the case may be. Now what do you do with that?
Yeah.
Like how does that make your life better? Like what's the point of that now at this point? Like what do you do now? And that's what we're gonna talk about today to wrap this up as we launch you into the next thing for you at the end of the season, hoping that this topic has been helpful for you. If God can turn our lives around, the whole Nigel Legend thing, now that we're connected, how can He turn our lives around together?
absolutely.
For the better.
I think
Fix all the problems for us.
we already seen an example of what connectivity does. We wouldn't be sitting here in this illustrious environment without
Illustrious. Par excellence.
par excellence.
I feel like it's Lance. It's Lance, right?
Lance. You got to put that accent on it.
At the end.
Yeah.
See it. So you're saying like being here, like us working together.
Pastor Josh.
Pastor Josh.
Yeah.
That's
That relationship in itself got you sitting here and we're having this conversation.
I should have asked him how we met. Like I don't even remember for real.
Maybe we could plug that in a little later.
Okay, sorry.
But we do know that your skin isn't the same.
It's not the same.
Your hair isn't the same.
It's not.
Yep. And the culture isn't the same, but
It's a fact.
we are the same in Christ. And these bodies that we riding in, that's sitting in us is the same, the spirit.
Dig it.
So that's what we're about.
Josh, good people, man.
Yeah.
Big shout out again to Josh. Thank you for getting us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, space is incredible, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna take one of these. You got a truck? You bring your truck.
Now wait. We don't
Nah, I
mess
bring
up.
it to-
Huh?
Will he give it to
Well,
me?
you got a bunch.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Bible says have not because you ask not.
Wait, what are you trying to take?
Nothing, man. Just keep your parks
You
along.
know I'm on probation.
You got to.
We need to edit that piece.
Nah, man.
your dirt
Did
bag
you ever put the joint on his face, like for real, like blur his face out? You should do that just for good. All right, perfect. Praise God.
I need that.
Oh, praise God.
I gotta fix that piece.
All right. What's that look like, JB? What does that look like, man, to when you have connections, like you mentioned, like, looking at your friend circle, like we need to expand it. But I already know, like, you the type to walk in a room and you no strangers, right? It's just kind of how you are. You try to act like that's not you, which, try to blur your face out in warrants and all that. But like,
He's a good guy deep down.
deep down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Deep down. And you don't have a strength. You connect with people instant off the jump. Like you're really good at that. What's the benefit? How can you then not use, because that sounds manipulative.
Yeah.
But now that you have this new relationship and you're benefiting from it, you're growing, you're learning, you're gaining things. How does that expand what you can do on your own and who you can be by yourself? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think for me, man, relationships are big because, ultimately it's about, we'll just say building disciples. Mm-hmm. Got to start with relationship.
Absolutely.
Even to the point, like, I can't check somebody if they wrong, or they can't check me if I'm wrong. we don't have that trust in that relationship.
Yeah, right. Because you feel disrespected.
Yes.
You don't know me like that.
You know,
Right.
who are you?
Who are you to tell me?
Some of these young boys out here and with stuff they got going on. You build with them before you check them. Like, you build with them. You let them know. Listen, man. At the end of the day, be like, I care about you as a person.
Yeah.
And so that gives you the space when they cutting up, man. Like, all right, listen, yo, come on, man. You know you out of pocket.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to building relationships with people, even people that don't look like us, it just gives you an opportunity. One, the discipleship piece, but then also to learn from other cultures.
Absolutely.
And being able to learn from them firsthand, and not necessarily what you may read, what you may have heard, or even from the experiences of other people. You want to be able to have a relationship and form a relationship with somebody based on your own personal experience.
Absolutely.
I think the worst thing in the world is because sometimes we don't explore relationships with people based on what we've heard about them from somebody else. And I think that's done on a personal level, but then even, the media plays a part.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have a tendency not to fool with a certain culture, race, whatever, of people because of what we may see or hear on TV.
Absolutely.
Or you said a word, because like I'm not a it's the media's fault type of person, because the media can only give us what we want. And then, because we're the ones that click the buttons, hit the like,
That's true.
share the stuff, and watch the channels.
That's true.
If we cut all that off today, all of that would stop today, because they're after our attention and our money.
Yeah.
But to your point, they are legit. They feed off of that. Bro, you have a hard time watching a news network or an outlet, and half of the reporting is not them over there, their fault. They're for doing
That's a fact.
And it's just like, bro, like, do y'all got anything else to talk about out here?
Fact.
Like, stop blaming everybody for everything. And then they get mad at the other people for blaming people and calling victim.
That's
And
what's
everybody
crazy.
does it.
And the news used to be just more about information. I'm going to give you the information and you do what you will with it. But now it comes with views attached. Somebody's preaching to you.
Well, because at the end of the day,
Opinions attached.
yeah, it's a business.
It is.
And it's a business. It's, everything nowadays is monetized.
That's true.
And so in order for me, if I've got to sell a particular story, if I've got to appeal to a certain base, then that's what I'm going to do to continue to
get that bag.
there, keep them paying, keep them watching, because ultimately that's what it's about.
This is why the love of money is the root of
You got to sell the love of.
Yeah, the love
Everybody
of.
misquote that.
Absolutely.
But you gotta sell the same story to your base.
Yes.
In a way that is appealing to your base. So you can't acknowledge an injustice that's contrary to how your base feels about this thing.
Yes.
Because you're going to run your base off.
Right.
And you can't acknowledge a good thing that was done by this person over here because they vote this way. They can't do good stuff.
Right.
So you got to, and it's frustrating to me, like the lies and the hypocrisy that are given to us in our bubbles. But if you have intentional relationships,
Absolutely.
with said person who fits the prototype of what they're saying, this leftist person here, this right wing person there, this whatever, you have a relationship outside your bubble that doesn't fit the narrative. When they say them over there, you're like, I don't know, but so and so ain't like that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know him.
And you said it last time. We actually got those relationships at work already.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, college and school
Absolutely.
and all that. They may not be friends with me, but like you a degree or two away from somebody who can bust that narrative up. But we spend our time in our bubbles.
Absolutely.
So if we do what we said last episode and make those intentional relationships, and now we have that when we're being fueled and funneled and pushed a narrative that says all of these people who look, say, act, think like this or this way,
Right.
You now have the option to say, no, man, but I done spent a year getting to know, now I'm offended now. You talking about my friend.
Right.
It's a different situation.
Right.
Than when it's like them over there who I don't know.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
Because if you don't know him, what place are you speaking this from? Where are you getting this information?
right.
Right. And we have a tendency to, when it comes to information, we get it from everywhere.
Yeah.
And a lot of times based on that information that we get, regardless of the source, we have a tendency to form our own opinions based on off that information. So if the source if the source is Nigel, so if Nigel Legin doesn't like a particular person, and we have a relationship, and then in turn, because he doesn't like a particular person, there's maybe a moment where I may not necessarily like him because I'm going based off of the information that I was given.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the same thing with media and all of those things as well. They're going to give you a certain narrative, whether it's intentional or not, what it is. But whatever that narrative is, and especially if I'm tuned in, if that's the only interaction that I have with that particular culture or race of people, then in turn, I'm going to listen, I'm going to believe that narrative, and that's what I'm stuck with because I don't know, I'm not being intentional about forming a relationship with somebody that doesn't look like me because according to who I'm listening to, I can't trust them.
Yeah. Do you have an example of a time where you made yourself uncomfortable and made a relationship with somebody that you otherwise wouldn't have naturally?
No.
No example. Hey, when I thought of this question, I said it in all confidence that he's going to have at least 2 or 3. None. Why not?
These are fantastic theories.
Yeah.
Why not?
No, I'm not. So I have, man. I've
Oh my God.
Like if it really ended up with you don't have one, like, hey man, we clipped this episode. We need new topics.
Yeah, so I've formed even with work, some of the work relationships that I have with individuals, and it kind of started organically to where I'm over with
say it again.
Organically.
Okay, that was right.
Oh, yeah. He left to see all that.
He caught me. Because I didn't say it right before.
Right.
And I caught it. And you're right.
Oh, my man said organically.
Man, the pastoral pettiness here.
See, it ain't just me.
Yeah, no.
I'm not the only petty one.
No,
I'm not the only petty wop up here.
No,
you know what I'm
Petty
saying?
Murphy, you Petty Wop.
So, I was in the office one day, and I'm talking to a guy that looks like me.
Okay.
We're talking about records, vinyl.
Okay.
One of my other coworkers who doesn't look like either one of us, he weighs in. Oh, you guys collect records? And so he comes over and we start talking. And even then, we formed a relationship based off of our love of vinyl, that I was having a conversation with somebody else who looked like me. But now the three of us, to the point we're planning on going to record stores, to just kind of go look for vinyl across the country organically.
Yeah. Now, I had a situation where I saw it was a whole bunch of people that looked like us sitting down. It was like probably about 5 of us. And someone that didn't look like us walked up, got in a conversation, and started talking about, it seemed as if he was in a conversation with no issue at first, but he started going into subjects that he felt like was very relatable to us. Like he was like, I'm about to hit the Popeyes. Now, in that situation, would you be offended? Because I saw the responses, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I didn't get bothered. I knew what was happening. He's just trying to be relatable.
No.
But,
encroachment.
But you
that's encroachment.
You can't be relatable based off of a stereotype.
Okay.
Ooh,
so this is the reason why I asked this question is for the education.
A true stereotype. Nonetheless, because I'd have been like, man, how dare you?
It was churches.
How dare you?
It was churches.
What you getting though? What you getting?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But pick me up a 2-piece. In reparations.
It was
give me a
churches.
2-piece.
It was like every time I go to Portsmouth, I grab some church's chicken. So I seen it change. But go ahead, please educate the people why that was wrong.
Because and it goes back to utilizing a stereotype of a certain culture or race of people.
Okay.
And you're using that in order to quote unquote try to build a relationship, start a rapport.
Okay.
And that's
it comes off disrespectful.
Very.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that he knew that. I just felt like he thought that would be a good end.
He thought that would be okay.
Yeah, he did. Now nobody got him. Nobody. Oh, okay. No, nobody.
Okay.
We were all Christians, but I
about to
can't
say.
front. After he left, we did talk about it.
One foot in the kingdom, one foot out.
Yeah, we talked about it. But I just wanted to educate those that may not know. I knew he didn't mean harm.
So when it comes to building relationships and being intentional with those that don't look like you,
Yeah.
don't base it or don't use a true stereotype
To connect.
to connect. Because there's not going to be a connection there.
Right.
It may be a connection, and it may not be the connection that you want.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, that was good.
So my friend and real good friend of mine, white dude, we were talking one day. He was like, "Tell me, man, like what is some of the things y'all believe about us? What are some of the stereotypes?"
Oh, he asked that?
Yeah, he answered.
Good. Okay, good.
I can tell by saying like, we ready to go.
Yeah.
So we start throwing stuff back and forth. He's like, "Well, tell me, what about y'all with this?" And he was throwing like the worst stereotype, but we was weak.
It's multiple people in this room.
It's me and him going back and forth.
Oh, okay,
But me and him with the relationship. So everybody's like, "Can I laugh?" I'm like, "Yeah, we laughing like." You know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
got you. Yeah.
But I ain't really care because I ain't know them. So I ain't really want him to laugh for real.
Right.
But like, it was kind of weird to tell somebody, "No, you can't laugh. Just me and him."
Right.
But we was going back and forth. We was dead.
But y'all had a
We
relationship,
had a relationship
to have that conversation.
And he was like, I was like, "What about this?" And he was like, "We had raisins in the potato salad." He's like, "What? Who does that?" Like he just never heard. Like we just going back and forth.
Right,
With
right.
stereotypes like weak, and it was really it's fun to me. Like,
Yeah.
we was just going back and forth. With
That's
because I mean I'd have been like, man, I don't like how you came off with the churches, but I would appreciate if you picked me up something because it is a true stereotype.
But those type, a lot of times relationships are, you have a safe space. So you have the ability to have those type of conversations, because you know
due to relationship.
you have that relationship.
Okay.
And you know that person's heart and you know where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
They're not being malicious, but they have you have questions, and because you have that relationship and you understand where they're coming from, and that right there, I think plays a big factor, even if it comes to the stereotype.
Absolutely. You don't take offense.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I had a positive example of community culturally connecting people that don't look like you. So, 2016 and on has been very divisive. Politically, medically, racially, all types.
I ain't think about medically.
Every time. I mean, you remember no mask shot, none on.
Oh, yeah. I thought you
can't
talking about, like,
right. It was
healthcare, but yeah,
so
that's-
much.
yeah.
Everybody's bubble galore over the past few years. So, matter of fact, it had got to the point where I would walk into a store, and if I was like in a space with a white person, I could feel the discomfort. Because you got to think, it was all types of riots going on. It was marches going on. It was Black Lives Matter. It was All Lives Matter. It was so much happening. So people were watching things, and they were feeling a way about those people that they saw that didn't look like them or wasn't in their bubble. So I felt it. In feeling it, I live in a neighborhood that's predominantly older white people. So I didn't want that in my neighborhood. From talking to them, I could tell what channel they watch and all of this and the belief system. But I would talk to people as I walked, you know what I mean? And I would have no issue. But I could tell that there was a difference in thought, and they had concern if I was, these days, if you have a different opinion, you're the enemy. I wanted to dispel that. So what brings people together better than food and music? Food does it every time. So what I think my wife was actually the one that came up with it. I got to give her props because she'll talk crazy if I don't. My wife came up with that.
Good food.
Good food.
Bad food tear people down.
Yes, it will tear down
you up.
nations, okay?
Yeah, bathroom was
So we came up with something called the community eat and greet. So we had somebody come in and barbecue. We had chairs, tents out there, backpack giveaways because we wanted you to bring your kids and all of that.
fried chicken.
We had barbecue. We had all types of stuff. So either way, these folks got together, sat down, had a relationship with people that you never came outside and saw your neighbors. You never talked to them. This was a moment for us to sit and have conversation. Find out that you got a 2-year-old. You got now you ride around my neighborhood, people are waving. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Hey, how's the kids? Because there's a relationship here. We did it again this year. The mayor ended up showing up. I didn't know he lived around the corner in the bigger house. Yeah, but he showed up. But it was just an example of when you come together and you sit down and you have a conversation and meet somebody with it and get to know who this person is, not let some media or this channel or whatever give you your interpretation of what these people are like. You get a better, what you were saying, the relationship allows you to have those deeper conversations, and it allows you to be able to have moments where you work together. I need help. Oh, you do this, you can come over and help me at the house. I trust you here.
Yeah.
You know, and now I know you.
I know what you do. I know what you care about.
Right.
It's always good. Like, you ask people, like, you know, what are you into? And somebody will go off in some industry that they're a part of that you don't know anything about, didn't know existed, don't even care about. But like, I'm interested in you, so I want to hear what's happening.
Absolutely.
And then who knows, man, like, because y'all got a relationship, you might find yourself with a need for understanding for like whatever, 6 months down the road. You're like, crap, I met so-and-so at the cookout.
Absolutely.
Like, man, we ain't talk like we should, but I wonder if,
Absolutely.
oh, man, I remember you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just breaks all that down.
It breaks all
that. That time of need, you're not concerned about who they voted for, what their favorite team is. But you ain't concerned, you like, man, can you help me?
Absolutely.
I would be humbled if you would help.
Unless you're petty.
Unless you're petty.
That is a problem.
Petty levels have risen over the past few years. They spiked.
Unless you
I need their help, but they can't.
yes, unless you're in that space.
I'd rather starve.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, unless you're in that space to where you can't let go of, you know, those indifferences for whatever reason. And I think a lot of times we run into those type of people.
We do.
As well.
Yeah, man.
We do.
And it's unfortunate, you know, but you have people that were raised a certain way.
Absolutely. They won't let it go.
Can't let go of whether it's their prejudices, or even if it was some situations that they've been in, that at the end of the day is not going to change who they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's really an unfortunate space.
It is.
I don't make this, you know, we've done a lot of, and I hope this is helpful beyond black-white dynamics.
Absolutely.
That's one of our examples, but I'm going to continue that going forward. You just brought some of mine. I had a situation. I did my first funeral. Never did a funeral before for somebody. Lady reaches out to me, and she says, "Hey, my father died. Can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "All right." So I went on the phone. She said, "I got to tell you who he was before I tell you why I'm calling." I was like, "All right." So my dad grew up in segregated Norfolk. If you don't know how Norfolk is set up, it's set up from a segregated past. It's still that way today. And she's like, my dad was very racist. It's just who he was. He told us don't mess with those people, don't talk to those people, stay away from them. Black, Hispanic, that's who my father was. Very hard man. And then, he just said eventually in life, he came to Christ. And very slowly over time, he started to change.
Okay.
As I'm an adult, I'm watching my dad change and like the hardness of who he was when I was a kid start to break down. She said, well, fast forward. She said, you started to visit our church and you started to get invited to speak at our church. And she said it was, and this is really humbling. This story is really humbling. She's like, my dad would lean in so heavy when you would speak that he would be so engulfed and he was taking like crazy notes. He would never come and approach you after church. And I said, why? She's like, it wasn't because you were black. He wouldn't even come and speak to the other pastor. Like it was his respect thing. They just preached, I don't want to talk to him kind of thing. Just give him their space. But he honored you from a distance because at dinner, every time he spoke, all we talked about was and we broke down, like that's what we talked about over dinner table. That's all he want to talk about. She's like, he really, for some reason, connected with you a lot. Never spoke to you. She said he was on his deathbed and was on his way out. And we asked him, how does he want his service to go? And he said, would you ask the black gentleman with the two names?
Wow. With the two names. Nigel Legend.
But she said that was one of his last requests was that you would come to his funeral. Never spoke to this man.
Wow.
And I'm on the phone with tears, and I'm like,
I was looking for tissues when you started.
Oh, okay.
They almost came up too, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I was looking for something.
But I'm on the phone with. I was like, I don't probably should, but I ain't even got to pray about that. I'm in there, And I show up and I'm intimidated because one, I've never done a funeral for anybody.
Right.
Literally, I walk up to the funeral director and I was like, all right, what do I do here?
Yeah.
Like my pastor had sent me some notes and stuff, and I was like, but I think I was more nervous. I could have figured it out, but I was just kind of like, I don't know if I belong here. I don't really wear suits like that, but I'm dressed up like, and I'm watching this like, you know, Navy captains and chiefs and admirals and stars, and I'm like,
Imposter syndrome
out the wazoo, and I'm like, but he just wanted me to tell the story about my grandfather that I told at church one time. He said, ask him if he would mind sharing that story with my friends.
Okay.
And I got up and I was like, I didn't know him. Sounds like he was a great man, and I don't know you, but he wanted me to share the story with you, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I told the story, and people came up, hugged me, cried, thank you. But it was just that piece of who he became over time, and that barrier of he wouldn't even come and talk to you.
Yeah.
Not even for racial reasons at this point, but just he had a mindset of this is what I do on Sundays, and just sounded like a very quiet, closed off man, but at the end, a very loving, accepting of all people. I was wrong in the beginning, but I'm ending well kind of man, and it just opened up this door for like he asked if you would come be a part of his life at the end, and I was like, I'd be glad to. And that changed me in so many ways. That changed me in so many. And his daughter asked me to share that story publicly, and I haven't yet. So that's for you. Thank you for that.
No, I don't think, you know, well, I won't say I don't think, but I think with us and just in general, we don't realize how impactful we live our lives, how impactful that is to people that we may never meet.
Absolutely.
And that goes for anybody. You know, you never know who's really sitting back watching what you do, how you move. And you may never know that. But at the end of the day, you've got to realize and understand that the way that you move and the way that you live your life, somebody is watching.
The greatest gospel preached is the one live.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just those people that are in your household.
Yep. No.
You know, that's a perfect example. This is a guy that Nigel Legin, the guy with two names, never met before. You know, but was sitting back and watching how he moved, listened to every message that he was preaching at the church, made himself there. So, you know, he was there to eat up what he was putting out.
Yeah.
So we never know, you know, we don't know who's watching us.
And we serve as an example. You served as an example of everything opposite of what he thought at one time you would be. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. And that's the important part. Everybody's not going to be on the same page.
Right.
There's going to be racist people. There's going to be people who don't like women or people that don't like men or whatever. But it's up to you to be an example of what a Christ-like individual is.
Yeah.
And they can do the checks and balances of the difference between the two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So I can preach to you all day, but when I show it to you in action, when I show you love, when I show you forgiveness, when I show you pushing past discomforts to have a conversation, it'll inspire you to give it a try. You get so inspired by it, you decide to try it yourself.
Yeah, man.
Because you see the checks and balances is how it works.
Well, let's take it to political stuff, like because that again, that's the most irritating soapbox I have.
Okay.
Just where we are with that. I got a friend. We just been friends for, I don't know, a decade plus. Like we done watched each other's kids grow up. I'm watching his kid, you know, go off to college. Like I remember when she was, you know, it's like watched all that, right? Stuff starts to flare up. And, you know, for a lot of my white friends, it was like, where'd this come from? Like, you know, what's it? For a lot of us, it was like, these are the stories and issues we've been talking about since.
We were talking about like Black Lives Matter town. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. And so he is, I don't want to misrepresent him, but he was navigating like, okay, you know, how can I help? What do I do?
Okay.
But you know, a lot of people, you know, like you know, it was the Malcolm X thing, like, hey, how can I help? You can't help me, like that type of thing.
Right.
He was telling me story after story of how
he was getting rejected.
Getting rejected.
Black folks reject him because he was white.
Right. In his situation, right? Just, you know what I'm saying? And I know this guy, like I already know. Yeah. We never talked about it. We never talked about any of the stuff.
But you know he's a pure-hearted good person.
Yes, I do. Like we hung out, we've been friends.
Yep.
You know, traveled across states just to hang out. That's my guy. As I watch things start to split and the stuff that is flaring up in me, you know, particularly Tamir Rice broke me. That, you know, so getting more passionate about the stuff I'm doing and speaking about. And this, you know, narrative puts me over here. He's dealing with what the media is doing, and in his experiences, he's going over here. Right? So now we start to have conversations face to face about stuff. Never losing friendship, like we never, but we had like probably some of the most impassioned conversations I had with anybody about this. You know, it wasn't even not civil. It was just us, but we were friends. So there was zero. Once the conversation was done, we was back to just being who we were, because we had a decade of friendship. But I watched as, you know, he legit told me, like, I feel like I'm the enemy now, and I was trying to help. So now I'm on the defense because I'm hurt. And I was like, I watched the change, right?
Yeah.
But the reason I brought all that up, that's still my guy.
Did he change? Did he move far right, or how did it go?
I wouldn't call him far right. I mean, somebody may define him as that. I mean, he's definitely right and happy and proud about it.
Yep.
But from a policy perspective and all that stuff, not from a whatever anybody thinks right means perspective. But anyway, while all this is going on, my point, you know, MAGA cap and all, there was a situation going on in the city where the city manager was passing over some black construction workers who were doing some work in the city and not giving them jobs they should have had in their community, but giving them to his friends and white owners stuff. And they were coming in getting money, tearing up the community, some gentrification stuff, da-da-da-da. And in the middle of all this stuff going on, he goes and confronts the city manager. It's like, listen, you know what I know about you, and you know what I can do to you. If you stop passing up these black gentlemen simply because you don't want to get them the jobs, you want to pass them to your friends, I'm going to put this out, you're going to lose your job, and this stuff's going to happen to you. And it worked. Like, the dude backed up, gave the jobs to so
from a stereotype point, a brother with a MAGA cap ain't doing stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying?
From a
like,
stereotype.
Right,
thing.
from a stereotype. But he's back, all that stuff is going on, and everybody that wears this thinks that way.
Right there.
And
Racist,
I know it, like, to this day, he would take a bullet for me, I take a bullet for him.
I got a friend like that.
A small bullet, but I would take one.
Right.
You know what I'm
Take
saying?
it, right.
But that's my guy.
A bullet or a rock? Which one? A pebble.
That's what I meant by small bullet.
Yeah. Right.
So, because a projectile. But that's my point is, I ain't with all this politics.
No.
But I don't care. That's my guy.
Yep.
And I watched my guy put his neck on the line for people who may have called him enemy if they saw him on the street. I don't know. But he didn't care. He was in that sense, it was about justice.
Yeah.
And I don't like the idea of him getting stereotyped as somebody else.
Yeah.
Simply because he listens to a certain channel.
Absolutely.
And so that's where we are with that, is in that situation, the heart that he has came through and provided for and took care of some folks who may and may not know he was even involved.
Absolutely.
And so that's the point, man. When you get through these things, when you break out these bubbles, when you build these relationships, when you care about people, those things start to benefit your life in ways you can't even quantify. And it starts to help you see things in a different framework. My prayer would be that framework would be a biblical worldview, where you start with the image of God, Genesis 1:26. Everybody's made in that image. All men and women have dignity, value, purpose, and worth, no matter where they're from, what they believe, what they look like, and what they do. There's still right and wrong, but none of that removes the dignity and the purpose and value that people have. And when you live that way, intentionally, and don't allow yourself to get consumed by your bubble or put your identity in your bubble, then you can use those relationships to your benefit.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've said enough to say use without sounding manipulative. Use those relationships to your benefit, to where people who have relationships you don't have, know things you don't know, have resources you don't have. They want to share them with you in a relationship, because you would share the same for them, and not just for folks in your bubble.
Absolutely.
And I just think we got to be super intentional.
How boring would a movie be if everybody played the same part?
That's nice.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great thought.
So we all serve a different purpose. We're different for a reason.
Yeah.
We were designed to be different because there are different things that we all are designed to do as a unit, as a group. Now you can, what would that be when you exclude yourself? You can exclude yourself if you want to, but I've come to find that the greatest things happen in community with people. I may be able to lift this chair by myself, but if I'm trying to pick up something heavy, I need some other hands. You know what I'm saying? So to create this podcast, we needed Pastor Josh for the location. We need each other to be able to bounce off of. It's a group of people with different skills and different, maybe even different thoughts, and we may have different opinions on things, but we come together and create something great together.
It's good.
So you miss out on the greatness of how great things can be when you exclude and seclude yourself.
Well, I think you said it best, is the more people you have that are on the same page, the easier the lift is.
Many hands make light work.
You know, it's just that.
It ain't just black hands make light. Any hand.
Hands in general, you know.
In general.
And whatever it is, it makes it lighter.
Yes.
You know, it's unfortunate for your guy, you know, the kind of space that he found himself in.
Yeah.
You know, him trying to, and I hate that term, but he trying to be an ally.
Yeah.
You know, but for whatever reason, but at the end of the day, his heart still showed.
Absolutely. Right.
You know, and it goes back to, it's not, you know, and it's not one of the things to where you always have to align yourself with people in order to be impactful.
Oh, that's absolutely
That's something that he did on his own.
That's good.
He walked himself. He knew there was injustice. He didn't call anybody up or whatever. He knew there was an injustice. He had a relationship. He went into that office and he fixed it on his own.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle.
Right. He didn't publicize it. He didn't call
Waiting on your
Right.
side.
He wasn't on social media, you know, but it was something that he knew that needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
Took it upon himself, and he went in there without all of the fanfare, without, you know, like I said, he went on Facebook, Instagram Live, but did what he needed to do based on his own heart.
Yeah, we was hanging out grabbing a meal, and he told me, and I'm like, for real, bro? Like,
Yeah.
when did this? Like, I tucked that story away because I just felt like somebody's gonna need to hear that. And there's so many cool stories, man. I don't want to keep them to myself, but like, I just want to encourage us as we wrap up to just, man, like, we gotta. I guess by the time you see this, it'll be probably not 18 months. I'm talking about the states, right? Of just political craziness. Probably be closer to the, I don't know, 14, 12 month realm of. So everything's gonna ratchet up. It's gonna be a bunch of foolishness, a bunch of mudslinging, a bunch of, everybody sucks but me in my party or not. But then when somebody in my party wins, all of a sudden they good, and I can't speak bad about them anymore because I got to set up my political future.
Democrats and Republicans.
And all of that, man. And it's just a bunch of
Gang.
So like, I don't really care which way you vote. I personally don't. I have issues I care about.
Yes.
And I know that's important. But the problem is I got issues I care about on both sides, and I got to pick which one to drop so I can make sure my team wins. I ain't about that. I just, and I'm not gonna get into all that because people gonna get mad.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the same page as you though.
I ain't got time.
Good against evil, not people against people.
Yeah, man. Like the lesser of the two evils. I'm like, so you want Beelzebub over Satan? Like, what are you crazy? It don't work out. Like, what type of logic? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but the hopelessness is like, well, what else are we gonna do? Like, because that's the system that we have.
But this, you know what? My answer to that, I know we got to wrap up here. We're not politicians, but we live out here. We live in these communities.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me to wait on someone else to resolve something.
That's a fact.
That I and you can do ourselves. We live here. So if a politician comes and is helpful, that's a cherry on top. But I think we should make it our business and part of our lifestyle to where if we see something wrong, we address it.
Yeah.
You see something good, we share and uplift that.
Yeah.
Hence sharing this podcast.
Yeah, I like that. Look at that segue.
Yeah.
The empire is always top down.
Yeah.
The kingdom is always bottom up.
Absolutely.
It's always
Absolutely.
It's always,
And I'm with the king.
ground floor.
Yeah.
Up. Jesus comes and he's born in a dingy stable. The palace is way over here. And he's like, put me over here where the people at. You know what I mean? Nazareth. Does anything good come from that neighborhood? Like, that's where he's at. And this ain't bad if you're born in a palace. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying you don't see Jesus vying for political supremacy. He's going, hey man, do you want to see? I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You hungry? Make your fish sandwich.
That's it.
Like, you want me to walk on water? I'm gonna walk on water real quick and blow y'all minds real fast. But ain't nobody gonna see it but y'all. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, and the groundswell of support that comes, and they're like, man, we gotta tell everybody. He's like, shh, don't tell anybody what I did. I don't even know who I am.
Man, they told everybody anyway.
Told everybody anyway. He was like, go show yourself to the priest. Don't mention me. Just go. Like, you don't see him doing what everybody else vying for power is doing.
No,
It's not about the fanfare.
no, not at all.
It's about the heart, man. And
That's it.
it's the heart, and at the end of the day, if you should have a heart for people.
Yep.
I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they smell like. I don't care.
I care what they smell like. Look,
I don't care what political affiliation, what gang they're with, whatever. At the end of the day, you should have a heart for people.
Yeah.
And I think even for us, the whole Tamir Rice and those instances and situations, for us it was outside of the fact that he looked like it could have been one of our kids. It was an injustice. And for me personally, I felt as though if it's an injustice, then the injustice should be spoken and highlighted anywhere and everywhere.
No matter what uniform, what color, whatever.
And even what pulpit.
Don't matter.
And I think
Absolutely.
that for a lot of us, that's kind of where that and a couple other, but I think but at the end of the day, we should have a heart for people, have a heart for people. And then if there is an injustice, we should be able, if we have the ability to fix it, to address it, or somehow handle it, then that's what we need to do. And we need to make sure that people understand that, hey, people need to understand that you have a heart, just like we have a heart, and you feel the same pain.
Absolutely.
yeah. I take it a step further with that, because you're right. It was the. Well, maybe not, because it didn't hit home, right? But that actually made me check myself. In what areas do I do the same thing that's hurting me, right?
There you go.
So I was like, if I see two injustices to two people and one of them connects to me more, am I going to care less about the other one?
Right.
Am I going to speak up about the other one? Yeah. And that's the thing. You see, if everybody's concerned about, black men, right? Murders, whether black on black or whether cop on black, you see a cop in the street dead. Do you care?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can, well, he was probably one of the bad ones. And you can wipe it off. But what if this was just some dude who was really trying to take care of his family and make his community a better place?
Right.
Where does the heart, is he only going to get support from Blue Lives Matter?
Right.
Or is somebody who shows up that doesn't look thinking, I like him, going to pull up and say, man, I'm sorry for your family, for your loss. Like, so my point is this, when something happens that isn't in your bubble and not in the place you naturally care, maybe it's worth forcing yourself to care a little more than you should or would, based on the simple commonality of humanity.
What if it happened to me?
Right.
Yeah. What if what if it happened to me? But like, it happened to somebody.
Absolutely.
And I'm taking the time to recognize that I don't care that much. And something may be wrong about the fact that I don't care that much.
Yeah.
Maybe I should pray. Maybe I should just take a moment to be sad. Maybe I should say, man, I wonder if their family's okay. Every time these things happen, we never pray for the family of the of the perpetrator.
No.
We pray for the victim and their family. We never pray for the family of the person that did the thing.
They going through this.
They going through.
That messed up.
You know what I mean?
To kind of back over what you said. It's unfortunate, but this is how kind of society has worked. And the way that it has worked is it doesn't hurt until it impacts my family.
Yep.
Yeah.
So most organizations, and I won't call them out, but most organizations only started because they were directly impacted because it hurt someone in their family. So whether,
I hear that.
And that's just how that works. It's at the end of the day, it's selfish.
Yeah.
I understand it needs to be addressed and
It's natural.
it's natural, but we should have a heart enough that even if it's not your kid,
It's a key.
even if it's not your brother,
Yeah.
your uncle, your sister, it's somebody's.
Yeah.
And we should have a heart enough, we should be loving enough to where we throw out the politics of it all. and we can understand, we can empathize, we can sympathize with the pain that they're going through.
Yeah.
And be there as just as people, man.
Empathy is great.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
You have to make yourself care
Yeah.
about the stuff you don't care about that you should care about.
Yeah.
Think a little deeper into it, man. I think we should think a little deeper into it. We may have become also jaded because we've seen so much death, and we just seen so much now. When you're trying to see so much negativity, it's just like another, something else just happened. Oh, they only killed 12 people this time. Well, you know, this is the type of conversation that'll happen. You've got used to it. But we really got to soften our hearts a little bit more, man. And I think that will allow us, and that's key. It's a heart issue.
Yeah, because it don't hurt. It doesn't hurt until one of the 12 is related to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Otherwise, you change the channel.
Right. That's when it hurts. It hurts when one of those 12 is directly related to you somehow.
Yeah.
One of the things I make myself do as a habit to try to keep my heart sensitive is anytime I'm driving, if I see a siren, I stop, I cut the music down, I pause it, and I pray for the people that I don't know.
That's good, bro.
Just because I don't want to stop caring.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Start fussing because they holding up traffic.
holding up traffic. Like when I get into traffic now, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, Lord, if there's an accident, please
Right.
I try to, and I do that. And I've noticed I've done it so much that the prayer can go autopilot. And then I'm like, when I recognize I'm praying, but I'm thinking about it, I'm like, whoa, I'm sorry. There's a person involved.
Yeah.
Not to make light of it. Now you might be able to do that here, but if you in the city somewhere, you hearing sirens all day.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
You mess around, you ain't gonna get to your
He praying about
destination.
30 times.
You can't pull over all.
He ain't gonna get to
No, I'm not closing my eyes, but like,
He's being Petty Murphy right now.
But no, but
no, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's situations where like, you know, you ain't got no money on you and you pass the homeless.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, man, I can at least pray to care. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like, what you want to do, sit around and pray all day? Maybe, because I need to make sure I don't get to a situation where I'm callous.
Yeah.
yeah.
I see something pop up that's an injustice to somebody that's got nothing to do with my bubble.
Yeah.
I make myself pray. I make myself care. Matter of fact, wow, this probably impacted so-and-so. Let me call them and make sure they straight.
Right.
So, just and you can't do everything for everybody all the time. But like just a habit of being intentional.
Being mindful, man.
Yeah, being mindful about making yourself.
You see in the comments the most wicked things, bro.
Wicked.
Somebody done got in a car accident or something happened to.
This wouldn't have happened if they did.
Right.
Bro,
Play stupid games, get stupid fries.
right.
Like, bro, somebody made a bad decision and life is gone and mother's hurting and you in the comments just stupid games.
Timothy spoke about this though. We will be in a place where we'll just be lovers of self, and you know, people will be just vile and
Disrespectful.
yes, it's not good.
But the good news
Yes, give me
is
some.
that the good news exists.
Absolutely.
That's the good news. Yeah. You don't know how good the good news is till you know how bad the bad news is.
Yeah,
You look on the algorithm, you look outside, you see the bad news. We get that already. The good news is that we have a Redeemer who came to fix, redeem, restore all.
absolutely.
And prayerfully, man, that's the team you want. I hope that you see things that way. If you don't, currently, today, at this moment, I pray that the principles of who he is and his love of all people, his desire to bring truth and call out sin and call right and wrong, no matter what, still had people who were living wrong rushing to him because they knew how much he cared about them, even when he was going to call them out and love on them some more. Read John 4, the Samaritan woman, if you want an example of that. I just think, man, if we would find with our wiring, our strengths, our weaknesses, insecurities, whatever, how can I be more like that in my day right now? Just to push back a little bit against the tidal wave of nonsense and divisiveness and negative content that's coming our way. If I can just be one little, you ever been at the beach? You know what I'm saying? The water coming, you're trying to work your way out a little bit, and there's a wave coming, you got to kind of stand there and let the wave hit you a little bit so you can work your way out to get where you want to get. If you can just be one person, just say, I ain't going to let this wave knock me down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow this to control where I go. I'm just going to stand firm, 10 toes down, and make sure that I'm a little ray of hope and sunshine in the middle of all this darkness. That's my prayer. Because this is my pessimistic point. I said end on a good note, now it's bad again. I don't think we're going to fix it.
Well,
Listen,
yeah.
I think the waves are gonna keep coming.
Yep.
And the darkness is gonna keep coming.
Yeah, you can't stop the wave.
No.
It is what it is. But what we can do is make sure that we don't let the darkness take our light away.
Absolutely.
We can make sure we don't let the waves knock us down and throw us, as the Bible says, to and fro with every wind of doctrine or whatever. Man, I've got the truth. I know how I'm going to live. As for me in my house,
Absolutely.
my community, I'm throwing cookouts to bring people together. I ain't going to let none of these lying politicians do this and the third. There's some good politicians out there. If you're a politician, not everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let partisan politics and negative music and algorithms and anything, I'm not going to let this. I'm going to step outside and say, man, look, you look like you made in the image of God just like me. Let's go get a burger.
Absolutely.
Let's kick it.
Matter of fact, it's coming a point to where that type of thinking is going to be so out of the ordinary to where we're going to stand out even more.
Desirable. It's desirable. Everybody I know wants that, though.
Yeah, they do.
No, everybody doesn't want it because everybody don't eat burgers.
Huh?
I said vegan burgers. Vegan burgers are included in that.
Oh, you said vegan.
I said vegan.
Okay.
Okay.
Add vegan in later.
Yeah, you
Superimpose that. Yeah. Everybody don't like vegan burgers, though. I like both.
I know.
At your cookout, I had both.
You did.
Well, plant-based and the cow-based.
Well, the crazy thing is this.
Yeah.
I didn't even get an invitation.
He wasn't even supposed to get one. He didn't even live there.
Oh, he just showed
It was
up.
a community cookout.
He was telling me about it, and I
Crashed the cookout.
Yeah.
I met the mayor, though.
Yep.
Shout out to Mayor Rick.
Rick West. Yeah.
Rick West. He's Adam West.
Adam West was.
He said Rick
family
Ross.
guy in it. No disrespect, brother West.
Still running for office.
Maybe.
That's all we got, man.
That's all we got, man. We done, man. Like, I think this is probably gonna come out in December. I'm throwing this stuff out. I probably should.
Should we say Merry Christmas? Or just no?
Well, nah, not with shorts on.
That's true.
We inside though.
Yeah.
Oh, and we do got the 5.
We got the 5.
TV ain't got no weather.
TV ain't got no weather.
Unless we was in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida like 100 degrees in December. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Love you, Florida. So thank you for being with us, man. We coming back.
Thank you.
We got ideas for season 4. So in the show notes probably will be a bunch of information about how I haven't written it yet, so hopefully it's down there by the time it's come out. But in the show notes probably will be information on how to connect with us, and we would need feedback, comment, subscribe, like, do all the things. But let us know what you're feeling, what was helpful. Let us know what was helpful.
Yeah.
And then, like we branded the other day, man, what's your story? What's your turnaround? What's your legend? Legin, not E&D, but in the same mind, what's your story? What do you leave behind?
What's your BJ?
Wait, what?
Wow. Yeah.
I guess we can
JB.
close on that note, right?
BJ, JB. You get it?
Everything don't sound good backwards, man. You know what I mean? I think I'm Rovert, but we'll stick with legend.
All right, this is cool, man. Hey, man.
What's your...
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, BJ.
Yeah. Just thought I'd try, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you shoot your shot.
That don't know if that's the ending that we were supposed to.
So we just say goodbye right now.
It's too late. Everything's going.
It's okay. All right. They may edit it or Photoshop something. I don't know. We thank y'all for coming, though.
Appreciate y'all for just tuning in, man.
Yeah. Real talk.
Appreciate it.
And for sharing. I'm sure y'all shared.
Yeah, please share. If not,
If not, share this one again.
JB and Trev had some ideas about like doing live joints and all that. So we're gonna see what comes.
Absolutely.
But we love y'all. Thank you so much for riding with us. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Hey man, thank you so much for watching this episode. Do me a favor. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go to the show notes, do all the things, and let us know what you're feeling because we'd love to hear from you. Appreciate you.